Hi guys, it's Callum and today I'm going to be giving you a guide on how to start your Fnaf TD2 adventure. I'm not going to waste any time, so I'm just going to go right in with what you should be doing first. So before you go into the game at all, if you've previously played Fnaf TD1, you'll want to go back to the first game and transfer the data of any quests that you've done, any nightmare units you've traded in. You get a few bonus rewards before you start your Fnaf TD2 journey. The way you do that is by pressing the two green buttons that mention transferring, and that they will be sent right to your Fnaf TD2 account. As you load in, the first thing you want to do is make your way to the settings, and once you go in there, go into codes and enter the following codes: release, global quest, and sorry for delay. This will give you quite a few starting presents. But talking about the starting presents, what you get are season presents. And if you've played Fnaf TD1, it might be familiar to you and it might not. But what you need to know, either way, is that they have been changed. And the way they've been changed are the 3 units you get are not actually units, they're pets. But these pets are useful, as in when you get all 3, you can combine them to get the one really good unit, which right now is Purple Guy. As for the pets, they don't really do a lot by themselves, they just follow you in the lobby and look cool, I guess. So if you found like a secret, you can just flex it to your friends and just remind them that you're better than them. Next thing you're going to want to do, you're going to want to check your fast coin balance, and if that's above 900, you're going to want to go to the summons. Instead of telling you how to do that, I'm going to go over the best units in the game in their rarity department so far. Coming in at uncommon for the best unit, we've got Bonnie. For the rare department, we've got the Paper Pals. For the epic, we've currently got Toy Freddy. For mythic, we've currently got Withered Bonnie. With secrets, we've got the exclusive unit Party Glock Freddy or Shadow Freddy. And for nightmares, it's Nightmare Mangle. If you get any of these units, you should be quite well off for the starting game. But if you don't, you still should be fine as well, because I'm going to be honest, the start of this game is not very hard, which I'm going to go into right now. So what you're going to do, you're going to walk up to one of the elevators. You're going to want to press on the first game and load into your first night. When you load into your first night, the first thing you're going to really want to do is select the unit you can afford, place it in an area where it isn't on the path where the enemies walk, but make sure you place it close to the road, otherwise they might not be able to hit. But what you want to ideally be aiming to put them is in spots where there's a turn, or where you feel like a lot of enemies are going to end up going into, or a bit where the enemies would be a bit slower, like a loop-de-loop or a corner turn. But for the starting few games, it doesn't really matter where you place them, just as long as it's close to the road or where the ranges touch on the road, as the starting game isn't very hard at all. The one thing you might have a problem with though is bosses, and bosses compared to the last game are a bit more scary, but even then you still should be able to handle them if you've got enough units down. Also remember to upgrade your units as well. And just like the end of the last Fnaf TD1, there is a panel on your right where if you press the button, it will open up a panel where you can manually upgrade your units without having to walk up to them or click on them. But if you're feeling extra lazy, you can just press the button on the bottom of the panel titled Auto Upgrade, which will automatically upgrade your cheapest unit, or the unit with the cheapest upgrade price. Keep repeating until you get to game 2. Once you get to game 2, you need to be a bit more careful where you place your units and a bit more aware of the environment. And by that I mean, in some of the levels, they sneak in 2 exit doors, which can sometimes trip a few new players up. I know, because it tripped me up. So what it usually does is when you look around the entrance doors, you'll know where the enemies are coming from. The exit doors are where you don't want the enemies to reach. And sometimes they hide an exit door out of your view. And if they do that, you will slowly but surely lose, as you realise near the end of the game there is a second exit door. And how to deal with 2 exit doors, in my personal opinion, the best way to do it is half your units. What I mean by that is place one Bonnie on one side, place a Bonnie on the other side, place a Chica on one side, place a Chica on the other side, and that goes for any unit you have. But the only exception is when it comes to bosses. Also remember, bosses spawn around at wave 15. So when it hits wave 15, take all your units from one side after the boss spawns and place them all on the same side, so that your units will all collectively pulverize the boss. But do remember, when it gets to game 2 night 5, you won't be able to beat it, unfortunately, as there is a bug in the game that does not let you place down units there. The next game mode that you might want to play is Endless, but my advice is don't. Seriously, don't. It isn't because it's a bad mode, it's just not in a great current state. And what I mean by that is that there once was previously a bug where rewards weren't given when you died in Endless, but they've fixed that now, but it's now been replaced by a new problem, as when you reach wave 20, 8 ultra strong units will spawn and will kill you. And by ultra strong I mean 8 puppets that move really fast and they have 15,000 health each, and there's 8 of them. Yeah, not very fun. Even if you beat them, the rewards aren't great, as you usually get materials, which is not helpful because of Evolution's current state, which I'll get into in the end. Now that you've completed both games, you'll realise that sometimes when you win the games, you'll get a few weird items. For example, you might get like a bar, you might get a drink. They're for your units. Yes, you can feed units in this game to level them up overall. So you could just have a very high level Freddy if you invest all your resources into one. But what you really want to make sure you do is you don't put too many food items into one character. Not because it's a bad idea, it's because, for example, if you put 5 drinks that are worth 80 XP each into a character that's level 1, that requires 200 XP to level up. If you put 5 in, that'll be 400 XP. And if you put all 5 drinks into that, the XP won't carry over to level 2, so you'll just lose items. So make sure you just gradually add a few food items one by one so you know that you're not wasting any. One of the last features I'm going to cover is Faz-Rating. And Faz-Rating has got a lot of people confused at the start of this game, but it's simpler than you think. How it works is that every time you complete a daily quest, you gain Faz-Rating. That's the only way to get it, unfortunately. And unfortunately, quests are bugged. Very bugged. Very, very bugged. So for now, it's almost impossible to get the extra unit slots, but as the game goes on, you'll get more opportunities to get Faz-Rating, as the developer said. Another one of the last things I need to cover is the evolution area. Here's my advice. Don't. Again, don't. This is because of another bug where some people have put their evolutions in, they've evolved them, and it has not worked. They've lost their unit, they've lost their materials, it's not great. So I'd go recommend against evolving your units, but really there's not a lot you can do. And now the final thing we want to cover is enchantments. Here's my advice for that. Again, don't. But at the same time, do, but don't. The main reason I'm saying this is because they are fine, but because it's the early game, they've only got the 3 basic enchantments, which is speed, range, and damage. And if you played Fnaf TD1, you'll know there was a lot of different enchantments like Puppet's Nightmare, Shadow, Overclocked, and Springlocked. But they don't have. I'd go against wasting your soul, so you can probably save up for later, for when they've actually got better modifiers. I think I've covered all bases of Fnaf TD2. Do remember that this guide might be outdated if you're watching this a year later or even a month later. So that is it for this FNAF TD2 guide. If you liked it, press the like button, press the notification bell to not miss a Callum Plays video, and as always, I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys!